decided to leave everything in. The reason why the video is about 20 minutes longer than it could be is because I incorporated some personal stories into the video, which I enjoy doing while I'm hanging wallpaper. It keeps your minds attached to the video, and it keeps me from losing my cool while I'm hanging the wallpaper, because sometimes it's a challenge, as you know, and I just enjoy doing it. So if you want to scroll through it, of course, be my guest. But I hope that for those of you who don't know how to hang a mural, you'll take the time to just watch the whole thing, because the important things are strewn throughout the entire video. So sorry for those of you who don't want to watch the whole thing in order to learn how to hang it, but I use this video as an introduction to new viewers who are asking about murals. So please enjoy it, and thank you for watching my channel. Folks, I'm standing in front of a mural I just installed, and it's attached to the video you're about to watch. If you need wallpaper, please contact wallpaperboulevard.com and mention my name, Spencer Colgan. Use my hashtag, Spencer Colgan is wallpaper, and they'll give you 10% off at checkout. Thanks for shopping at wallpaperboulevard.com. Hey, this is Spencer Colgan, and today we're doing an exciting mural. And I just wanted you to see this. I brought the lady's iPad with me so I can read it to you exactly from the order on Etsy. Take a look at this. This is just two of the panels. When we're installing a mural, we always want to lay it out to make sure that all of the panels have the print. But most of all, I made this mistake once in my life. I assumed that every panel of 30 inches wide had pattern on it. It's not the case. When you lay out a mural, sometimes the last panel only has 14 inches of color on it. So you really have to lay out all of the sheets to make sure that all of the sheets have pattern on it. Do you understand what I mean? In other words, if a company is going to make a 150-inch wide mural and their panels are all 50 inches wide or 35 inches wide, whatever the case may be, you might wind up with one of the panels with only a small portion of the color on it, because the machine is printing on standard size panels. But your mural may only be for a 15-foot wide wall or a 10-foot wide wall. And so therefore you have to check your panels to make sure that each one of them is actually going to be installed, or is one of the panels going to be cut short by a third or whatever. So we lay it out to make sure that we can see what we're doing. So, now, in an ideal world, a mural will come with a picture of the mural on the side of the tube from which the mural is packaged. Not always the case. So we have to go to the homeowner's image so that we can make sure that we know what we're dealing with here. So anyway, this was found on Etsy, and it's by Home Decor, and it's a 3D effect mural. And this is a mural from which you can choose how wide and how high you want it, because they make these murals according to the size of your wall. Now please, if you're ordering a mural, let me tell you this. If your wall is 150 inches wide, do not choose a mural that is 150 inches wide. You have to go to the next higher mural, because you will get a mural that is probably 146 inches wide. Because after you do this, let's take them down here. This, I have overlaid the mural, panel number 2 on top of panel number 1. And you can see right off of the bat, in order to install this,
I have to do what's called a double cut. We lose an inch. Every 2 sheets, we lose an inch of width because this panel, like most murals, is made to be overlapped, and the effect is, or the result is, that we have a bleed through which we make our cut and then remove the underlap and the overlap. So as you can see in the picture, you lose an inch because the panel is made that way. It's made to overlap. Why? Don't ask me. Now let's move it out and show you that if you were to butt the joints together, look what you would get. The panel wouldn't match up. Okay? So this is something you learn after you do many installations. You can see how, do they see this little dark mass right here? This one and this one looks like an x-ray of a lung. You have a mass on your lung. It's a dark spot. See that? Okay, so this goes over this. The pattern is repeated within an inch on the edge of each of these panels. And therefore you know that you can't butt them together, you have to overlap them. Usually it's done because the edges of these materials don't lay down well. And so they want you to cut off the edge. And so you do that after you get the product into the home, relax the product, and then you do your double cut. And it makes the product lay down against the wall. I'm gonna have to shut that bird up. We haven't fed him, so he's annoyed. He's a parrot, and when I went in, he kept saying, hello, hello. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so we're gonna start installing it. Very nice product, easy installation. See you on the next frame. So one of the easiest tasks of hanging wallpaper is probably going to be hanging a mural like this. Your first sheet is critical. Now, homeowners typically order murals too short. They want to, they're cost conscious, so they're trying to get it the exact size of the wall. And now, I already measured this. I only have 2 inches. That's not enough. I only have 2 inches, 1 on each side, to make sure that this fits from side to side. So I'm almost using 1 of my inches here because my wall is not straight. This wall, this edge is not straight. And this wall, the connection between this and this is not straight. And you can see you have a thicker strip up here and it gets thin down there. You know that the wall is off. It doesn't mean that, it means that your wall is off. You could be off the wall while your wall is really right. But usually your wall is off. It's not that the hanger is off the wall. You know what I'm saying. But some wallpaper hangers are completely off the wall. And those are the people I wouldn't listen to if I were you. So anyway, to the English-speaking world, can we do some basic grammar, please, if you don't mind? So a lot of English-speaking people say this: if I was there, I would have, and we're not talking about a tense, like the past tense, they're talking about something called the subjunctive tense. If I were there. That's what they mean, and I don't want to be such a stickler, but the proper way to say it when you're dealing with a condition is, if I were there, not if I was there. So I just want to help all of my viewers speak proper English, because as you know, on this channel, we bond and we get together and we have a good time. Okay, I'm just bring them to the level. My edge is plumb now, as you can see. And if it weren't, you see, if I had said if it wasn't, I would be wrong. If it were not, that's subjunctive tense. But a lot of people say if it wasn't. We're not talking about the past, we're talking about the future. Let's not bring up the past, all right? That's what I'm talking about. Okay, this is a really easy installation. You're the homeowner, you're home right now watching this video, and the guy is saying, come on already, get through it, I don't have all day. That's the guy. The woman, she's sitting there, she's having coffee right now. If it's at night, maybe a glass of wine, and she's liking the video. But the guys, they don't like this going on and on and on. And that's why I do, because I like to bother the guys. Anyway, check this out. I got a call. I'll tell you on the next frame. Let's go to the next frame. So when you're hanging wallpaper, I never gave this little advice. Take your lower panel out first. Look, try to tell me in the comment section why you would want to do this first. Why would you want the first panel to be the lower portion? Hopefully that is the lower portion. Sometimes I make mistakes. The top is not the top, you know? Well, why would I want that bottom out first? Can you see why now? Now, here's some advice for you folks. Look at what I'm doing. I'm leaving the top intact. Why is that? Can they see that I'm leaving? I haven't cut the wallpaper yet. I haven't trimmed it. Mm-hmm. This video, like most of my videos, are geared for the do-it-yourselfer. You know, professionals, they don't need to watch me to do a good job. But the do-it-yourselfer is watching this to learn how to install a mural. Don't trim this. If you're a do-it-yourselfer, don't trim it. Here's why. There's going to come somebody on this channel who watches this, starts trimming it, thinks they're doing great, gets to the end of the wall is an inch off, your customer ordered, or you're the do-it-yourselfer, you ordered the thing too short, and then you're not going to have enough on the top. When you're dealing with a wall, leave the top intact, because you can always come back to this thing and lower it. Once you cut it, you can't do it, or you can hire, whatever. You can change it, it's not permanent. Once you cut it, that's it, you're done. Okay, so leave it intact. And you can thank me when you're the guy or the gal that benefits from that advice. Now, let me show you. Now, if you're going to do that on a flat wall, mask the ceiling. I'm sorry, if you're going to put wallpaper on the ceiling and then clean it off, we're dealing with a semi-gloss texture that's fully cured. It wipes right off. Don't do that to a flat ceiling. Protect your ceiling with masking paper, okay? On the last frame, I promised you some entertainment about a guy who called me. Now just bring them in close, right behind me. I want to show people how you match this stuff up, okay? So, yes, you overlap it, but now it has paste on it. By the way, this material that I'm working with is like a shower curtain that, like a very thick shower curtain. That's all it is. That's the material. I've never had this product in my hands before. Okay, let's bring them in real close. Do they see this little white, not white, but it's light right here? Now watch this. You see this one right here? Yeah. The one that's moving? They can see when I use, what is this called? When you guys, by the way, my cameraman is from Hawaii. I'll show you the guy. Donna Gamel, she said, oh, he's lucky. Okay, so I'll show you him again. He's a Hawaiian. If you're interested in this fellow, he is single, and he is just under 18. He'll be 18 in August by the time you folks see this video and respond to it. If you're interested, he's Hawaiian and he's single. All right, let's do
And
it.
rolling my eyes.
Okay, come please behind me. Now, what is this called? You mentioned something about this before. I said, you know, when you're a kid and you make a little movie on a notepad.
Flip book or something?
Okay, a flip book. Now, I spoke to a veteran in Jersey. He's so good. He and I discussed this. He said, you know, when you're a kid, you made the little picture. He says, that's how you're going to do it. Okay. If you are off when you do this, you'll know by simply doing this. You'll know if your pattern is directly on top because you'll see it move. So you just do this. Can they see that? Go right behind me so they can get the effect as well. Do they see that?
Yeah.
Now, for argument's sake, let me move it so you... This is perfect, but I'm going to make it imperfect for your sake. Let's move it over. Now, let's do it. You think, oh, I got it, great. Let's... No, you don't. You see how it doesn't add up? Now, let me put it back. I did that for you because I like you. Okay, we got it back, but we made a mess for you. Okay? Okay, we got it back. So let's do our flip book, okay? Do they see how it matches right up?
Yep.
Okay. Now, folks, it matches here. That doesn't mean it matches everywhere else. Be careful, okay? Take it in sections of 20. Let's check 20 inches below and then above. Watch. Come on. See this white line? This is something, if you mess that up, you're in trouble. Customer's going to see it. Okay? That's why if you hang paper for people, here's what you do. Tell them, look, do me a favor, have a glass of wine or two, and then come and take a look at the product before you get paid. This way you get paid, you know? Just tell them to have a glass of wine and then look at it. This line won't matter. Trust me. Okay. Now, this line has to match. But the line matches, but I'm looking at this little white thing. See this thing right above my finger? You got to be on the money when you install these things. Let's make sure that the one under it is directly under it. Haha! Look how beautiful, right? Can they see that? Mm-hmm. Okay. Go another 20 inches. Okay, we're off here. We're off. I can tell my lines are not perfectly. But you know what? When you get an abstract thing like this, you might get away if you're a little off. If you're the do-it-yourselfer, don't worry about it. Okay, let's go. His name was Spencer. Look at how perfect that is. Right behind me. Go right behind me. See that?
Yeah.
Okay. Folks, otherwise, how are you going to do this? Now, let's see if this is good. Yeah. Now, let's make sure that our solid white is over solid white. You know I'm joking, right?
Yes.
I just want to make sure that I'm talking to people at home. Christmas tree. Start in the middle, that way. 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 You're eliminating torque when you do this. You don't want torque on the wallpaper. What's torque? When you knock the wallpaper sheet out of square. If you do this too much, you'll have a wallpaper that's pulling this way. But if you do this, nice like this, you get the idea. All right. Some nasty woman about 3-4 months ago said to me, "You grunt too much in your videos. I can't watch this." Excuse me? I'm giving you free videos? You're complaining about me making noise? I'm struggling here. I hit 37 in November. You know, you start getting winded. I got a story to tell you. Can somebody just write, I don't know, compliment, anything? I don't want to, guys don't like when I do this. Usually cool guys, they write something, but can you just say something like, excellent or beautiful or perfect. I love the word perfect. Okay, we're gonna go to panel 3, and I'm gonna tell you what happened to me. Labor is very hard to come by these days, especially in Florida. All the guys who install, I don't mean guys, gender, I mean people. All the people working, they're busy. If you can get a guy to your house the next day, beware. That happened to me. I needed somebody to install my ice maker, my sink, my ice maker, sink, what else? Ice maker and sink, because I had a new kitchen put in, and microwave, and dishwasher. I got 2 characters. I'm going to tell you about them on the next frame. Okay, let's go to the panel. So we're pasting the back of the panel. I'll just show you my technique here. I have my table set up, but let's just see if I can show you my Hawaiian helper. So this is Max, my Hawaiian helper. Say hello, Max. Max, are you single? Be honest. Okay, before we get off the subject of wallpaper, let me just say something. I forget what it is, but it'll come to me. All right, it's keeping your wallpaper panels level. Each wallpaper sheet is only level if you put a level on it and make sure that it's level. Otherwise, it's not level. What do I mean by level? That going left to right is straight according to the Earth's surface. Okay? You may be plumb here, but you may not be level at the top. Don't assume, and this goes for installers who've been doing it. Don't assume that because you have the left side of a square here, that the top part of your square is square. That's not true. In other words, if this is 90 degrees with the ceiling, don't assume that your wallpaper is parallel to the ceiling or at a 90-degree angle from here to there. Why is that? You're not dealing with steel here, folks. You're dealing with malleable vinyl. It comes out of square as you spread it out. So, if you have a steady pattern, make sure that the pattern on sheet number 1 and sheet number 2 and sheet number 3 is all at the corner where the wall meets the ceiling, whatever it is, a flower, a bird, a tree. Make sure that on every sheet, your pattern is in the corner where wall meets ceiling. That's the only way you're going to know if your sheet is level. Because people look at the top. They're looking at the ceiling to see how good it's done. That's how people are. They're messed up. Oh yeah, he screwed it up. Isn't that you? You do that too. Okay, so you want to look to make sure that that cherry, the little thing that comes out, what is the thing that comes out of a cherry or an apple? The thing that you hold to it when you're a kid, like
A stem?
I thought it was a stem. That thing. If that's your cutoff point, make sure it's your cutoff point every other sheet if it's a drop match, or every sheet if it's a straight match, okay? That's all. Now let's get back to something I got to tell you. Now I was going to tell you a story about a guy who called me at like 1:30 in the morning about wallpaper. I said, you got to be from the West Coast, right? He goes, yeah. How'd you know? When he said, how'd you know? Then I got angry. You get it? How'd you know? How'd I know? You're calling me. First of all, it's late where you are. But I'm not going to tell you about that. I decided to tell you about... Did anybody ever watch Home Alone? The movie? Where those 2 idiots, they burglarized the house when Macaulay Culkin was the kid actor in the movie. Those 2 idiots, Pesci and the other guy. Watch the movie. It's entertaining. I don't watch any movies at all. I don't watch movies for a couple of reasons. One of which is I can't sit for 2 hours and be entertained by something. I want to get to the punchline. That's how I am. Anyway, that's for the Spencer Colgan Wallpaper and painting trivia show that I have at the end of every quarter. So it's fun. I'll say like, where did I grow up? And you guys answer and you get a free whatever. I don't know. All right, so I needed my kitchen appliances installed. I hired some guy who did cabinets. I didn't know that when you hire a guy to do cabinets, he doesn't put the knobs on. He told me that I gotta do that. I gotta do it. I don't do that. Respect trades. You know, if you've never done something before, don't assume you're gonna do it well on your first time. It's imprudent. I hope that lady's watching who said you grunt too much. Oh. See what I'm doing here? I'm squaring my wallpaper. I'm taking care of this edge. Look what I'm doing on the right. I'm not going up. Torque. I'm not going down. Torque. Straight across. Square. Get it? Hope she's watching. So I hired these two guys. I don't want to tell you where I found them to show you how desperate I got. If I tell you where I found them, I'm embarrassed to admit I got desperate for workers to come in and install. Spencer, why didn't you do it? Every time I hook up plumbing, it leaks. Every single time. Not only that, for the guys watching, you ever go down, you get the ice maker kit, you got it, you have lunch, you're ready to go, you get to the thing, you need 3/8, not ½ inch, not ½ inch. Back to the store, back. Oh, it's a male part. See, been there, done that. I am not doing that, wasting my time, running back and forth. Pay somebody. Pay somebody. For the guys watching this, pay somebody to hang it. Call me, I'll come and hang your wallpaper. I got a call recently. Hi, I need you to come down to the Bahamas. No exaggeration. July 5th. I need you to come down to the Bahamas to wallpaper my yacht. I need you there within 10 days. Oh, it gets better. I'm talking money, right? Obviously. His yacht. Put me on a plane. I said, well, I got visitors right now. You know, I'm letting them know if you want me to come down to your yacht, we're going to take a little vacation on your yacht because I got house visitors right now. So I tell him that. He says, I need this done by the end of July. July 26th, I need it done. I said, well, I got to fly down with a few people. He goes, all right, let's wait till August. Then he tells me, I am not kidding. Then he says, you're going to need a COVID shot. Is your passport up to date? I'm like, well, that's a little personal, but I got to get a COVID shot. Then I got to get tested. I said, dude, get somebody else to hang your wallpaper in the Bahamas. By the way, those of you who are American, the Bahamas are not part of the United States of America. Do you know Christopher Columbus landed in the Bahamas? He landed. I mean, what do you call it when you end your voyage? What is it? Landed? Yeah, it's landing. Who knows? By the way, just a little comment. What type of airplane did Christopher Columbus take back to Europe after he got to the Americas? It's only one. There was only, I'm going to see what you have to say. What airline, oh no, I'm sorry. Like, let's say Boeing. Boeing wasn't in existence at the time, but what type of airplane did Christopher Columbus take back to Europe when he got to the Americas after he left? can't get to my story. I'm gonna tell them on the next frame. All right, let's go to the next frame. I just want to show you how to cut the excess on the top or the bottom or on the sides. I don't want you cutting it. If you're new to hanging murals, don't do this until you're done. Put this down first, hard. Press. Okay. I want to show them this material. This is incredibly good stuff. It's interesting, new technology. I mean, this stuff is like a shower curtain, but look how hard it is to penetrate it. Listen. I am dragging a knife against that, folks. Okay? It's good stuff. Okay. Two guys come to my house, right? To install my dishwasher. You come to my house, I feed you. Within an hour, you've already drunk something. That is the right past tense for the word to drink. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's drink. You drank something. You had drunk. You know, like some people screw that up too. All right. I like grammar because I was before med school. I was a student. No lie. I was a student for a master's degree in secondary school education. Until I realized that the students were incredibly vacuous and I had to get out of it. Long story. I retired from the police, went into education. Nah, wasn't for me. When educators don't educate, not because of themselves, but because of the students, forget it. You need to get joy out of what you're doing. Two guys show up to do the work. Now, to be charitable, let's just say they look like they just smoked some really good stuff. All right? Let's just say it appeared that they just came from really enjoying themselves. All right? Really good stuff. But the problem was, it was early in the morning. That was the problem. And it's my house. And they show up. Hey, what's up? What's up, man? You got a dishwasher here? I'm there. He said, are you all right? Oh, I'm all right, man. Yeah. So, I took a moment to do some soul searching. And I said, I need the dishwasher, the ice maker. I need it all hooked up. I'm going for it. Come on in, guys. You hungry, man? Got the munchies? Yeah, man. All right. Sit down, man. Don't sit on my fabric. That's all right. They eat. Then they start installing. These guys were on Mars. Trust me when I tell you. They were on Mars. And I'm trying to be charitable. A couple hours later, they were coming down. They started getting moody. They're doing plumbing work. Guy says to me, hey, you got plumber's tape? Plumber's tape. Dude, I hang wallpaper, man. I don't have plumber's tape. I go to my neighbor. He's got it. I got it. These are not guys you want in your house. And you know I was a police officer. I'm not going to mention New York City by name because I can't. And based on my law enforcement experience, I'd say that these guys were no strangers to sliding iron doors with big locks. If you ever saw the two idiots who did the Home Alone movie, they were as unintelligent as those two criminals. When we go to the next frame, I'll tell you what they did. Not a good thing, it's not nice. Your grandmother says she loves you.
Tell her I said I love her back.
Can you look in the camera?
To Grandma?
Yeah.
Hi, Grandma.
All right. Just to demonstrate that you can glue, you can paste the wall as well. You don't have to paste this. It doesn't have a backing. It just has the back. Okay.
That's the top. It's switched over, I just realized. If you look, the letters are...
Okay, this is the top room?
Yep.
Okay.
If my doorbell rings, it's a person coming to fix my Wi-Fi.
Okay,
Okay, I'll be next time.
sure. Should I call you?
Yeah, if you didn't mind.
Yeah, that's all right.
'Cause unfortunately, I didn't get to speak with the person they're sending.
That's all right. Okay. So these two clowns. These two clowns. They show that they have very little integrity. Because they show up in that state of mind, etc. Right? So here's the thing. What? So they show up messed up, obviously, right? And then they spend about 6 hours all together. Couldn't wait to get rid of them. You know, you show up in my house like that. So I check out the job before they leave, and the hot water's not coming on. So I say to the guy, got no hot water? Really? He didn't put the valve on. So he assures me I have hot water. I pay him cash. And he leaves. I go under the sink, just cleaning up. There's a pinhole in the ice maker tube. He's gone 10 minutes. I text him right back. This guy was paid cash. He's no good. And you know he's not coming back. So I said, hey, just so you know, there's a pinhole in the tube. He says to me, he's got to get his old lady. Then I come back. So, come close. So I said to him, now the helper, the guy who didn't talk much, he was in the cabinet, putting a hole through the cabinets to get the ice maker tube through it. Remember, I got the ice maker, the dishwasher, the microwave installed. And there's a lot of things to do. So he's in there. He's in the cabinet, physically. I don't know how he got in there. It's not easy. I know I couldn't do it. So I said, hey, did your cousin leave a billfold in here with $184 in it? He says, yes. Now, needless to say, there was no billfold. Now, that's not a lie. For those of you saying this, no, it's not a lie. I asked him, did he leave a billfold with $184? He chose to say he did. So, assuming he was telling the truth, I looked for his billfold. I didn't find it. Two can play that game. So he says, I'll come back tomorrow to get it. All of a sudden, he can come back. He comes back the next day. How you doing? Sorry about that. I think he ran out of money for the stuff he was using to make himself laugh. Anyway, he fixes the thing. I was ready to fix it anyway, because nobody's going to come back after you pay them cash. Nobody. Most. You would do it, I would come back, but they weren't coming back. I knew it because of where I found them. So they spent, I don't know what took them so long. They take another hour to install it. He says, so we're walking out. He says, did you go to church today? All of a sudden, we're buddies. So I said, oh, yeah, I did. He says, did my cousin get his money? I said, oh, no. I said, that was my house guest's wallet. He says, all right. And he just walked away. I don't know what you think about that, but it was the only way I was going to get the guy back. Okay, that really happened, by the way. All right, we're going to go to the last frame, show you how to trim this thing and be done with it. So I went back to my first sheet as Max is pasting the last sheet that will go on the end of the wall. And I did a double cut. I simply penetrated the top layer into the second layer, and I have two strips that have to come off. This is my overlap. And you can see I'm removing the bleed. That's the part of the pattern you don't need. Okay, remember we spoke about that in the first frame of the video. Now, I have to remember we have an underlap. And there it is. We just want to gently pull it this way, to the left. Okay. The reason why you want to be gentle is so you don't knock the vinyl out of square or stretch it. Whenever you pull on vinyl, you heat it up and then you knock it out of square, right? You can see how the seam now mends beautifully, right? Folks, it's really easy, you know? I don't do plumbing well, but I can tell you, after you do this, even if you mess up the first sheet, you know what? you almost become expert like on your second sheet, okay? So don't worry if you made a little boo-boo on your first sheet. Come back strong on your second sheet. Okay? How do you like it? That's your seam. Now don't say, oh, you're perfect. I'm going to tell you what's perfect. The material is perfect. Because when you see my seams, don't blame me. Blame the paper. This stuff is manufactured so that you don't see the seams. Okay? We'll give that a final cleaning. We'll come back and make sure it's perfect. Come close. Okay, as you can see, this is all we have left. So we took off an inch over there. All right, they gave us 3 inches. It's better than having 3 inches short. So, just so you know, on the with those 2 criminals that worked in my house, I had my house guest take her money, put it in a billfold, and stick it under the cabinet and take it out. So nothing I said was a lie. It's called a mental reservation, and I think it was appropriate to use because I'm dealing with 2 people of low character, and they need to be coming back. So I asked them if they left money in my house. I was a police officer, right? So sometimes if you want to catch a guy on a train ripping off bracelets, you send an undercover on the train with bracelets all over. Actually, according to the Supreme Court, it's not entrapment. Hey, you want to steal a bracelet? Happens to be a police officer. And that's how they get bracelet stealers. They put a guy on the train with bracelets, so you rob him. He happens to be a cop. So I said, did you leave money here? He could have said no. And I would have said, okay. But you had to see the look on his face when he found out he wasn't getting more money. Oh, by the way, I gave this guy a $20 tip, him and his helper. 20 bucks each. The helper that didn't talk much, he just went like this. Thank you. Real life story. Okay, folks. We're hanging this for about 2 hours. I'd say 2 hours. How about max 2 hours? About 2 hours. Call it 2:30. We're done, just about. We're going to trim it. I'm going to show you how to do a double cut, and then we'll end the video. See you on the next one. You installed your mural. You haven't busted the seams yet. Busting the seams is the process by which the installer takes the seams, cuts through them, and removes the overlap and the underlap on most murals. Most murals are going to be overlap seams. You've got that all done. I haven't busted all of the seams yet, but let's say you have. You take a microfiber cloth and you now clean your wallpaper down. You will be surprised at how much paste residue is on your wall covering. You want to get it off when it's wet. I got this tool on Amazon. It comes with a bucket that squeegees the water off of the microfiber into the bucket. It's an excellent tool. Unfortunately, it's all plastic, so I bought 2 of them, figuring I'll get 6 months out of each one of them. Okay, now,
let's just show them one last thing about this. Your wallpaper looks good, right? It looks perfect, right? It's not. Let's bring them in close. From that angle, show them this. Can they see this? Can they see all of these imperfections? Bring it in close. Put it on a 15, 20 degree angle. Are they catching that?
Yeah, I think.
Let's see. I want them to see if they think that their wallpaper is perfect. They have to go around and do a final smoothing because they'll find air pockets. And they'll find other imperfections on the surface that will only be revealed if they look at the wallpaper on an angle with their eye as close to the wallpaper wall as possible. And then and only then are they going to see all of the imperfections. If you want to really do it, do we have a light with your, let's put our light on it. And then you will see all of the imperfections show up when you simply put a light on it. Let me shine our light on the wall covering so then you get a real perspective. Now you can see with light, a whole different perspective. So the light, if you turn all of the lights out in the room, obviously this is daytime, we can't do that. But if you're in a room where you can close doors, you want to see the truth about your wallpaper? Put the light on in a dark room, put your flashlight on it, and you will see all of the imperfections. But as an installer, I already know this, but I want to tell you to do it yourself. You don't want to find imperfections the next day, and your wallpaper is already dry. Okay, I promised you I would show you a video on busting the seams. I'm taking a steel edge, making sure that I hold it halfway from the edge toward the middle, ensuring that I'm only cutting through half of my bleed. I don't need a level because I'm using the edge of the wallpaper to be my guide. I'm consistently a half of an inch away from it. And you don't need a level for that. You're just using your eye. Even if you were off, when you're going through a pattern like this, you might do well and nobody will notice your mistake. When I get to the end, here's what I do. Watch what I do with my blade. You see I lift it up because finishing off these cuts are tricky. Your blade sometimes moves. I can't get that blade down any further, so I turn my blade against the wall, face to face. I start from the bottom and I drag it up to where I finished. It's the only way I can do it. Otherwise, my blade penetrates the wall and the sheetrock, and that's no good. Okay. I can reach the top of that wall because I'm 6'5". You might not be able to do that. Okay. Let's do it again. This is my overlap. I'm a lefty, so my left sheet goes under my right sheet. My right sheet overlaps my left sheet. I'm left-handed. When I'm working, I want to see the edge on my left. What edge? This edge. So let me show you once again. Now, how do I, listen folks, if you're doing this for your first time, press harder than softer. You're going too soft and it's going to be a disaster. When you realize that you penetrated the first layer but not the second, trust me when I tell you, I'd rather see you penetrate the sheetrock underneath it than not penetrate the second layer of wallpaper. Press
firmly. There's no way of knowing if you've just done this for your first time. It's not fair to you. You need to know if you're penetrating the second layer, okay? And I'd rather you do it in excess rather than too softly. I'm lifting my guide off of the wall because I don't want that blade coming down, cutting my right hand open. I have taxes to pay so that people who don't work can stay home. So I have to work. I don't want to miss work. Okay, you can see that the angle at which I'm holding my blade is being taxed or stressed. So I'm going to stop that, lift my blade off, start from the bottom and pull it up to where I left off. And I can feel it. I can feel the blade go into where I left off. It just goes in. Okay, these are all tricks you learn as you go along. I'm going to pull my other piece off. And then I have what's called a manufactured seam. Okay? So then we're just going to clean that up. By the way, for those of you who have received stimulus checks, you're welcome. You're welcome. Don't mention it. Just kidding. I'm half kidding. Don't lift your blade off of the project, please. Even if you find where you left off, it's not good. For those of you who want to invite me to their neighborhood to do a speaking engagement, please consult my handlers at spencercolgan.com. And by the way, for those of you who need wallpaper, please go to www.wallpaperboulevard.com. If you use my hashtag, Spencer Colgan is wallpaper, they will give you 10% off at checkout. Okay? That's wallpaperboulevard.com. And if you use my hashtag, Spencer Colgan is wallpaper, they will be sure to give you a 10% discount at checkout. And if you do, say hello to Wesley. He may give you a little more off, you never know. How's that seam? Show them the seam. Show them
the piece of paper under it.
Huh?
The second piece of paper.
Show them the perfection of that thing. Can somebody just write a little bit further away? You know, just like, yeah, from back here. Just, if somebody can just write perfect or Spencer, I love you. If you want to put in Spencer, you're the best. That's, I mean, you don't have to, but it makes me feel good. All I do is watch my own videos. I have a condition known as narcissism, so when I get home, I just watch myself constantly. So, I mean, I'm dealing with it. By the way, there is something I wanted to say. I forgot. It will come to me.
There's something somebody said on my channel. They actually believed me that I was in love with myself. I forget. But I'm kidding, right? I'm joking. I know I'm violating the rule, but I don't want you to do it, because you'll mess it up. Don't do that. For those of you who know what just happened, just keep it to yourself. We don't want to let the newcomers know about that now, do we? Gotta love this material. This wall covering is taking a beating right now and isn't giving up its color or anything else. I highly recommend it. Highly. So somebody called me recently and said, "Hi, my name is so-and-so. I'd like a wallpaper installed. Can you give me an idea on your pricing?" So I said, "Sure. What is your annual income?" And they said, "Pardon me?" I said, "I'm only kidding. I'm just joking." But when they say, "How do you come up to your prices?" I say, "Well, it's a function of your annual income." And usually, not all the time, I get a big laugh. Not all the time. Sometimes people don't want to be joked with. They're very serious about their wallpaper. Ah. You can imagine. Don't let that happen to you. We're not going to edit these out. Too much time to edit. Too much time to edit. Okay. Just don't let it happen to you. I'm going to wash my hands, finish this up, and bring you back when the scene is done. So we're almost done. My helper pointed out to me that on two of the seams I did not pull out the underlap. So please understand, off video, I pulled the paper up and got the underlap off. I forgot on two of them. And there they go right there on that ladder.
So anyway, the final thing you want to do is clean it down. You can't clean down your wall covering enough. Okay? And then of course, if you want a good name and reputation, if you have a floor like this, you have to mop it up. So we have our mop on the job always, clean mop. If you have a dirty mop, throw it out, get a new one. And you want to invest in money. You know, what is this, $22? Actually, after I bought it, it went up $5. So I got 2 of these. Comes with a nice red bucket. This is a great mop from Amazon. However, the yellow star knob on my newest one broke off. So, but I love the mop. They're easy. You throw them in the wash, etc. We're going to wash this down and show you how it looks on the end result.